Hey everyone, yeah, it's been a while since I did a mini devlog, and maybe as you can hear on my voice, I am a little bit under the weather, a little bit of the sniffles. But yeah, today is a special day because the Switch version of Game Boy Balls is releasing. It is actually already live in Southeast Asia, so if you live there, you can already grab it there. But yeah, I just wanted to go over what's different in this version, what I've been doing since the last mini devlog, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. So let's talk first about the actual release of the Steam Deck version, because that has been 2 months ago, and then the last mini devlog I did was 3 months ago. So yeah, the game released, and I did it just after midnight, so midnight of 26th until 27th of January, because I thought that is great because of the wish lists that are mostly US based, so the US will see it in the right time, and it worked. People bought the game, they played it, way more people than I thought. That went great, except two small bugs. One bug, both of the bugs didn't affect that many people, but I did had to make some changes. So the first bug I patched out was the save game. When I built the game, I always thought you just play the game, it saves, and then it's done. But I never thought about family sharing because I never use it. So what happened is that if you share a Steam Deck with different people and different accounts, but you use family sharing, it would overwrite the save game on that particular device. So I had to redo the save game so that it saves to a different file that is tied to your Steam ID, so that every time someone saves it, it will save it separately compared to the other accounts on the Steam Deck, if that makes sense. So I did that. There's a little bit of a guide if you already made saves in those patch notes. But now it works, so that's great. And also Steam Cloud is available, so even if you buy a new Steam Deck, and I'm still searching for an OLED one, I will buy it the moment that it becomes available. But yeah, if you have a new Steam Deck, Steam Cloud is available and it will sync. The other bug is still not resolved, but there's a workaround. So apparently for some Steam Deck users, the FPS will drop enormously when you're in game mode on the Steam Deck, but when you swap to desktop mode, it actually works. And I still haven't found the issue, but I at least can communicate how to play the game on the Steam Deck if you have that issue. And I reported it to Valve, so hopefully they come back to me. So yeah, that was the first release. And I think it went great for my second game. I never thought that people would actually play it and would be interested. So thank you guys. And now 2 months after release of the Steam Deck version, there is this Switch version. And if you watch other people's devlogs, you probably know I cannot talk about everything in the process because of NDA. But of course I can talk about my own game and how I made a couple of changes to make it better on the Switch, or at least different. So I applied for development kit somewhere late last year, thinking would take a while to get it, but I got it way quicker approval to do it than I expected, so that is great. And then I started porting at the beginning of this year because the game was already finished for the Steam Deck, and I was just waiting for the actual release. I planned a month to fix bugs if there were any game-breaking bugs, but I couldn't find it except for the bugs that other people found that I just talked about, but I never knew that before release. So I started porting the Switch version. Took me a while to get everything to work because I had to redo the gyroscope code because it works different obviously on the Switch than on the Steam Deck, and I had to redo the resolutions of every level because the resolution of a Steam Deck is 1280 by 800 and of the Switch is 1280 by 720, so they're a little bit different. What else? I went for gameplay first, so the Switch is different hardware compared to the Steam Deck obviously, so I removed a little bit of the visual fidelity on the Switch version. I think most Switch people are used to that, but that meant I could have the frame rate that I wanted for the best gameplay. And actually I think it feels great on the Switch. maybe even more responsive than the Steam Deck. But the Steam Deck version is also great, if you get what I mean. So yeah, the only thing I still want to add to this from a mechanical standpoint is HD rumble. Yeah, I want to see if I can make it that you can feel the ball rolling through the Switch, if that makes sense. The Steam Deck doesn't have that much capability with rumble, so I never thought about it. But people said it after I announced the Switch version, so I'm looking into that. Cannot promise anything, but it is something I'm looking into it. Also new in this Switch version is 20 new levels. So I made 20 new levels based on historical mazes and labyrinths. I hand drew them myself, but the designs are historical. And I also released that on the Steam Deck yesterday, so if you want to play it already there, you can do that now. There's already a person that found a bug that I need to patch. And one other thing in the Switch version is that I didn't do the challenges. I might want to redo the challenges, or at least I saw in the Steam Deck version that people don't actually play them that much. So I think the core thing is the actual levels of the core game. So I focused on that, and those are in there. There are now 70 levels in the Switch version. And in the past 3 months I did a couple of other things. I just mentioned it because this channel will be my personal projects, not necessarily only game projects. So I made a little flip book thingy, and it is pictures of the wall in the toilet of my regular pub, changing over time in the past 2 years or so. So yeah, it's a little flip book, and I learned myself bookbinding for this because I thought all the printers were too expensive. So I probably spent more on making this little book myself. And I worked on another little project as a freelancer, and that is for ESL1. I designed the 3D environment, not the graphics, but the 3D environment for Pudge, a character in Dota. And you could see it in Birmingham. I wasn't there myself, but I understood from the producer, everybody enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you for watching this longer mini devlog than normal. And check out the Switch version if you have a Switch, or check out the Steam Deck version if you want to check it out. There's a demo for the Steam Deck version, so make sure to first try the demo. Never buy without knowing what you're getting. I didn't do a demo for the Switch version, might do that later, not 100% sure yet, because there's a whole process there. So yeah, I want to thank you guys, and hope you enjoy the games and the things I make. Cheers!